Welcome back, folks. Sheepdog Smokey. We've got 2 days in a row with an off-topic video, it seems. We've heard for years that ID is racist when it comes to voting. I can remember this from the late 90s when we had people just really started to talk about the issue. Anytime I've seen it brought up in a political discussion, the person bringing it up and supporting it is instantly decried as the most racist, hateful, bigoted, Nazi-loving monster possible. Basically described as the ultra Hitler for wanting voter ID. When you tell them that, okay, well, I shouldn't need ID to buy alcohol, tobacco, firearm, spray paint, drive a car, I shouldn't need ID for anything. Then you become the most ignorant person on the planet because, of course, alcohol and tobacco are not good for you. Spray paint can be used as a weapon or can be used as a drug. And we need to know that you're competent enough to drive a car. But we don't need to know that you're a U.S. citizen and legally allowed to vote. Well, the newest is from Führer Fauci saying to CNN, of course, that apparently the coronavirus task force is looking into a national ID card to prove you've been tested for COVID-19 and you are not symptomatic. Basically, they're going to mandate the entire country get an antibody test and carry on them at all times an ID card that shows you've been tested and what the results are. Now, naturally, as there's going to be now an annual season for this virus, as there is for influenza, the common cold, and a number of other things. This mandatory testing will be annual or maybe even twice a year. And you'll be required to pay for it and pay for your new license every time. We're not going to allow the government to protect voting when we know illegal aliens vote. They've been caught in Texas and in other places. We know they vote in large numbers in states like New York or California where they're not reported, and if they are, nothing is done. We know that Democratic campaigns send pre-filled out ballots to immigrants, most of them likely illegal. Just sign it and return it. We'll take care of everything. Because that's not being reported. But we can't use a voter ID and in-person voting with paper ballots only to combat voter fraud, because that would be racist. I can almost guarantee you that, like the Gates have said, any vaccine should go to minority populations first. I can guarantee you this ID will either go to minorities first, as they have a right to feel safe, or it will go the opposite way. It's racist to make them get it first. You bigots need to get it so that they know you're safe to be around. I have made it very clear that this is something I do not think I should have to wear. I have also made it very clear. This is useless. All it does is trap whatever I'm exhaling right at the mouth. It's also useless because I have a beard, so it rides up. It's not sealed here. It's not sealed here. The N95 respirator mask is useless because people don't know how to wear it properly. And even those who do admit it does not stop virus particulate. It is there to stop expectorant. If you cough or sneeze, it is there to catch any saliva or snot. I already make sure that if I have to cough or sneeze, I cover my face. I either sneeze into my elbow or I carry a napkin, a paper towel. I carry a handkerchief or a bandana or something. Or I'll even just do this and cough in them like this, and I'm fine. The very fact that state governments are saying you must wear a face covering proves that the virus is not airborne. Because if it was an airborne virus, masks are useless against it. Why mandate them? Well, it is a minor encroachment on your rights to see how far they'll let you go. I am appalled that to buy bread and milk or ground beef and other things that I need because I need to eat, and I can't live on one or two scrambled eggs a day with a little bit of water out of the tap. I can't do that and stay healthy. I'm appalled that I am now legally bound to wear a mask when I go into a store. Having worked retail, I can tell you I also would not allow people to wear a mask in my store. That is just inviting a robbery where they know you cannot competently describe them. There was a tweet several months ago, I forget who it was, but he said, I never imagined that ever in my life I would walk into a bank wearing a mask and tell them to give me money. That's happening all over the country now. Because of the tyrants in power who have decided we're going to start small and we're going to slowly now just take. It's not safe to go to church, but it's safe to let people riot in the street. If you go to church, you can't sing because that spreads the virus. Masks aren't stopping it. That means it's not. That means it must be airborne. That means that maybe it's going to get everywhere anyway. Recently, I saw a story about a Bed Bath & Beyond employee. I think it might have been a manager, but I know it was at least an employee, going on a vulgar tirade because the customer's mask was pro-Trump. I'm honestly surprised they weren't asked to remove it if they wanted to come in, at which point they could have said, oh, so the mask is not for anything other than you getting to be obeyed. Now, Bed Bath & Beyond have yet to respond anywhere that I've seen this story. And they may never. That may end up being, and a lot of them do end up being, just like the boycotts that the liberals are calling for. They wanted to boycott Chick-fil-A because Dan Cathy, as a private citizen, not for company policy, stated his beliefs are couched in Christianity. Laura Ingraham refused to dump advertisers that the left demanded she dump, so they tried to boycott her, get her fired. Now they're going after Goya Foods, a Hispanic-owned company that was started by a person who moved to America because the CEO was kind to Donald Trump. Now, this latest one's going to end the way that Chick-fil-A and Laura Ingraham did, where they're not going to see any noticeable decline in their sales. They may likely see sales go up. Until now, I have bought generic wherever I can. I can tell you, living in North Texas and having worked for HEB, I do for a fact know that in Dallas-Fort Worth, Miss Barrett's bakes all the bread. If you live in Dallas-Fort Worth and you buy Wonder Bread, you buy HEB brand bread, you buy Kroger, Walmart, Target, Miss Barrett's bakes it all. The pricing is for branding. They brand their stuff. It's first off the line. By the time everything's loaded, theirs was bagged first. In San Antonio, HEB, the grocery store, runs the bakery that makes everything. Then they put it in a Miss Barrett's bag, or a Wonder Bread bag, or a Kroger bag, or an HEB bag, or Target, or Walmart. I've known this for years. Milk. I don't buy the really fancy, expensive stuff. If I go to Walmart, I buy Great Value. If I go to HEB, I buy HEB brand. If I go to Kroger, I buy Kroger brand. If I go to Brookshire's, I buy their brand. Because it's cheaper. Pork and beans, spinach, corn, canned goods, it's all the same. Buy generic. You're going to save. My parents tell a story. My paternal grandmother would not buy generic food. Wouldn't allow it to be served in her home. My mother knew this. Neither one of them cared about if it was a generic can of corn or if it was Del Monte corn. So they bought one of each item named brand. After they ate it, they washed and carefully cleaned all of the cans. And whenever my grandmother would come over for dinner, those would be in the trash, and the generic corn, peas, carrots, potatoes would be on the table. She could never tell. And that's because corn is corn. Bread is bread. For crying out loud, I've baked bread, and that's the only time it actually tastes better than anything in a bag. But now, I'm going to buy Goya wherever I can. And a lot of conservatives are doing the same. Because they know when the left says this company must be destroyed, it's a company that has a good leader. Just like when the left says Fauci must be obeyed, even though at first he said masks don't work, they shouldn't be worn. Then he said they do work. Then he said, well, they don't block the virus, they only block it if you cough or sneeze and liquid is expelled. And that's the only reason to wear it. As if just saying, if you need to cough or sneeze, cover your face, cover your mouth and nose. If you want to wear a mask, fine, but mandating it is stupid. If he tries to mandate that all Americans will be regularly tested at their own expense, although I'm sure Sanders or AOC will say it should be free, but either way, if he tries to get President Trump to mandate that everyone will be tested for antibodies and carry a national ID card, if Trump signs that, he will end his career. And this country will probably completely fracture. Because there are too many people who were taught history. They know the sacrifice of our ancestors and our forefathers and what happened over those few years before 1776. How many patriots died, knowing that if they lost, they would be branded traitors to the crown, their families ruined, but they still did it. There were several that were captured and labeled traitors and executed, and they went to their graves knowing they were dying for an idea that had a lot of value. And now, 244 years later, we have people who have managed to gain power, who by all reports, in Fauci's case, are responsible for some horrific things, who have managed to get the government to tell doctors they may not prescribe a medication that doctors say works. And now the Henry Ford Institute has even said, yes, hydroxychloroquine accounted for a benefit when used for treatment of COVID-19. As soon as that came out, of course, the Believe Science liberals immediately started trashing that study, saying it's not real, it's not valid. It's like my body, my choice. Only when it's a choice they won't make. My body, my choice. I choose not to wear a mask. Well, you're not doing it for your body, you're doing it for mine. Oh, good, that means abortion. The child is not your body. That's the child's body. That's not the same. I've actually said that to people, and I've had people scream at me that I should be arrested. I told them, hey, tell you what, call the police. I'll happily explain what happened. And I'm sure the cameras around us will back me up. Once you point out that you're not going to bow, one of two things happens. They storm off muttering about you, or they get violent. And I can tell you, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I ain't an old man. And if I'm anything like my old man in another 30 years, when I am in my golden years, I'll still not back down. You bow up to me, because I wouldn't bend the knee and say what you wanted. Well, if you feel froggy, jump. I can guarantee you, I have to eat. And I am unfortunately unable to find a single grocery store where I can shop without wearing a mask. Therefore, I have to, because I have to eat. If it gets to the point where Fauci says you may not leave your home if you don't have this ID, I got an acre. I got chickens. We have rabbits. I guarantee you, I can live off rabbit, my garden, water, eggs, all that. And when my debt is so high that police come to arrest me and tell me, you're going to now be tested, I will tell them, you didn't test me for nothing except what killed me. I will die fighting on my feet before I live on my knees. It's a concept that sadly today, too few people realize is the core of freedom and liberty. Not enough people realize that the second you bend the knee, you've lost forever. I don't count wearing the mask bending the knee because I don't have a sufficient political or military force to make a business let me in unmasked when I need to eat. I can tell you, unless I'm buying produce or meat, I order online and I tell them open the back door on the passenger side and put it in. I don't get to pick out what I want, but I still get to specify the brand. So I sit in my car in the air conditioning listening to Fox News on the radio, and when they walk up wearing their little mask, I'm not wearing one. But I'm not on the premises. I'm on the property. And for now, there is no mandate that says in my vehicle, I must wear a mask. That's one thing I would tell you to be very aware of with these mask mandates. It's very rare for the government to say you may not or you must do something on the property. They leave that to the owner. They say on the premises of a business where you are in contact with people. The premises begin at the door. To give you an example, Kroger as a grocery store, Safeway if you're in California, or whatever you have, wherever you are. Most of them sit on a very large plot of land. They have a lot of room to park your car. That is the property. It's defined by the land boundaries of that lot. Often you will see that they have other businesses around them on the property. The premises is when you physically enter that building. That's something else that's very important when considering if you should or should not carry your firearm with you on a given day. If you're going to be entering a federal building or pretty much any city government, any government building, a school, or if you know the business you're going to prohibits concealed or open carry, most banks do, then don't carry your firearm or be prepared to leave it in your vehicle until you're done. You can have it in your vehicle, just not inside. That's the way it is right now with the mask. You don't have to have that mask on until you open the front door of that business. And I do that. And I guarantee the second I'm asked, I'm going to look at it and say, well, apparently the government has discovered that coronaviruses only live inside a business. There's a magical force field at the door that stops it from entering. So I don't have to have my mask until I enter the premises. Must be why they worded it that way. I guarantee I'll get a blood cloak. But I'm going to comply with as little of that mandate that idiot Abbott made as I have to. And that mandate probably just killed Greg Abbott's career in Texas. And I'm not going to shed a tear. Because he's proven he has been corrupted by power. And therefore he should no longer have any. Fauci has been corrupted for decades. I would post the video where Dr. Mikovits talks about him, but YouTube won't allow that. I would post the video where Dr. Yvette Lozano speaks about hydroxychloroquine, but YouTube won't allow that. Even though the Henry Ford Institute has proven through a study that it lowers the death count when dealing with COVID-19. They don't care about the truth. They care about power. Stealing as much as they can and keeping it. I've talked long enough. This one's been a long video and I need to get to some reading and then to bed. So let me know what you think. As always, be civil. If one of the morons I named shows up in the comments, I'll give as good as I get, but I won't get vulgar. The rest of us, we are civil thinking logical adults. Please act as such. Please remember to like and share the video to affect the algorithm and to widen the channel to help draw people in, as I am doing the giveaway at 500,000 and 1,500 subscribers. I gotta get there to do it. I'm not lowering the thresholds. Please remember to go on and subscribe and turn on notifications, so videos like this that are unplanned, you'll know about them. I do my class time videos for the history series and ultimately whatever it grows into every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Time. Everything else posts as I record it. Until next time, have a wonderful day.